In this video, we'll look at how to mount the IXM vertically on the Phase 1 P3. To do this, we will need the new generation of HDMI box, which has a longer cable. Everything shipped from February 2024 will include this as standard. However, if you have one of the older generations, new ones are available to purchase. First of all, we will disconnect the P3 from the M300 or the M350. Next, we'll remove all LEMO ports from the back of the camera and the HDMI box from the side. We can then loosen the screw on the bottom plate and the screw holding the camera into the gimbal on the top. We can then push the release button and release the camera from the P3 gimbal. To rotate the frame into portrait mode, we must first remove the lens. We can do that by loosening the two screws on the top and the two screws on the bottom before pulling the lens away from the camera body. Once the lens has been removed, we can loosen the screws on the mounting frame. Once all of these screws have been removed, we can rotate the frame 90 degrees. The top plate will be in line with the memory card slot, and the HDMI port will now be on the bottom of the camera. Once this has been rotated, we can securely screw the frame back to the IXM body. Now this has been rotated, we can reattach the lens. Push the lens securely back into position and tighten all four of the screws which we loosened earlier. Once the lens has been reattached, we can remount this to the P3. Once again, we'll push the release button and slide the camera back into place. Now we can reattach the cables connecting data A, data B, the power, and the HDMI box. Once these have been put into place, we can add the screw for the bottom bracket. Now the P3 is ready to be attached to your drone of choice. Once we've moved the camera into the vertical mount position, the gimbal will need to be rebalanced. If you need information on how to rebalance your gimbal, there is a link in the description of this video. Once the gimbal is balanced, we can power on the drone, and inside the remote, we can select the vertical mode to make sure the live view is rotated and any metadata written into the images is correct. We can go to Menu, PSDK, and scroll down until we get to live view orientation. Here we can select vertical. Please note, in the first release of this, you may see a small lag in the live view video, and we recommend using this for automated flights only.